By the late 18th century, France's economy looked bleak. Its participation in the 7 Years' War and the American War for Independence nearly bankrupted the state. Furthermore, its taxation system was both unfair and inefficient to support the struggling French economy. Failed attempts by King Louis XVI to reform the economy caused frustration towards the royal government, as the richest people in France, the first and the second states, the clergy and nobility respectively, paid essentially no taxes, while the rest of the common people, the third estate, paid heavy taxes. Problems in France worsened due to bad harvests in the 1780s, causing widespread food shortages in the country.
Food! Dude, what the heck? What the heck? Dude, that's my food!
Bread riots erupted across France, and anti-royal sentiment grew at a rapid pace that influenced the turmoil and violence of 1789.
Bring me the food. This is all of it? Throw it away.
In desperation, Louis finally called a meeting of the Estates General, which hadn't met in nearly 175 years. From the outset, things were already deadlocked, with disagreements over how the voting process was to work, with the first two states preferring to vote by estate, giving them to an advantage, while the third estate wanted to vote by an individual ballot system, giving the larger third estate an advantage. Ultimately, Louis chose to go along with what the first two wanted, which would ultimately result in grave consequences for the monarchy.
Alright, come on.
We want more representation in the estates.
Alright, why are you wasting your time? You're not going to get any more representation.
Because we represent 97% of the population.
I don't care. Alright, just get out. Just go. Get out. Go lock the door. Who's talking about?
Did they just lock us out? After the delegates of the third estate were kicked out, they immediately relocated to a nearby tennis court, where they vowed to not stop meeting until France had a new constitution. This famous meeting would become known as the Tennis Court Oath.
These taxes.
No, I don't think so.
Fair.
Can't stand them.
Terrible.
The king won't listen to us. What are we gonna do? Just let our people starve out there? Or do we fight back?
We're gonna start a revolution. We're gonna fight back.
We're gonna rebel.
Yeah, so we're gonna meet until we write a new constitution that gives freedom and equality to every Frenchman out there. The king will have to listen to us after that. Long live the revolution.
Yeah!
Louis fired his finance minister, Jacques Necker, on July 11, 1789. When news of this reached Paris, the people were furious, and panic swept in. And on July 14th, a mob of angry Parisians, and aided by defecting military units, stormed the Bastille. After the governor was bayoneted to death, his head and that of some of his men were put atop a pike. This would become a tradition of sorts for the revolutionaries. After the Bastille was taken, Parisians worked together to tear the structure down. Ultimately, the legacy of the French Revolution on Europe and the world as a whole continued. In August, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen were signed. This document was a turning point of the revolution that made all men equal, and was a sign that the monarchy's influence over the country was waning. On October 5th, 1789, a mob of angry Parisian women marched to Versailles to protest the price of bread. They were joined by others, and soon the crowd grew to nearly 60,000. The next day, they stormed the palace, killing guards and forcing the royal family to return to Paris.